What's up, guys? Hi, Benjamin Button from ESPN. How does it feel to have lost the regional, national, state championship? You don't know how it feels? Then you don't know the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football. Don't you play college football? Hi, Susie May from Sports Center. Do you feel like you've given up on your dream? No, Dad. I'm giving up on your dream. I'm a female reporter. I don't know you. Hello, my loves. So I was watching the Everybody Loves Raymond episode the other day where they go to meet the '69 New York Mets baseball team, and Raymond is going there to interview them because he works for the newspaper as a sports columnist.
Hi, it's me, Ray Barone from New York Newsday.
Oh yeah, Barone. You're the guy that did the article on the ball players becoming announcers.
Yes, yeah. How are you?
I'm doing okay, considering I'm one of the ex-jocks looking for a second career at the expense of the hearing public.
And that got me thinking about how sports interviews have changed so much. I find sports interviews so interesting and different than like actors or singers when they're being interviewed, because it's like a completely different field. I have never been to one day of media school, journalism school, anything, so I don't know, but this is just kind of an outsider's perspective. But I think it's harder to come up with questions for an athlete than like an actor or a singer, at least for me. I can't come up with questions for like a basketball player. Like, what am I supposed to ask you? Like, I don't know what that is. Because I think it's a little more cut and dry. It's like you just saw the game, you saw it with your own eyes. There is behind the scenes that goes into it and you can like ask questions about that, but really I feel like a lot of athletes are like, yeah, we just go to practice and we practice a lot. So a lot of journalists resort to the how do you feel. I've noticed this so much in every single like sports interview I've watched. Is like, how does this feel? You just lost, how does this feel? You just won, how does it feel?
What questions do you hate to answer?
I hate the questions where it's not a question. They kind of just want you to talk about something. Say you struck out in the last at bat. I mean, everything's on you and it sucks. They're just like, so how'd that feel? You know, you're just like, well, I felt great. You know, I really enjoyed the moment. Striking out's my favorite thing to do.
I think it's two separate skills. If you're good at a sport and if you're good at the media. These are the type of interviews that have been around the longest. These people most likely went to school for journalism. They've done a lot of research on the team or whoever they're interviewing, hopefully. Sometimes not.
The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we've seen it drop to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome. No, nothing planned. We're indoors, and we only have to be outside for 20 seconds getting off the bus, going under the thing, so we'll be okay.
They're very professional. I'm thinking like Erin Andrews, like pencil skirt. We've all wanted to be that at some point, where we just like show up on the field and we're like, how does it feel? While serving face. Press conferences for me are so uncomfortable to watch. They're the best moments and the worst moments happen during these press conferences. You can have like the absolute worst questions, like the worst moments, and then you could have like your Tim Tebow.
You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season, and you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of this season. God bless.
The craziest part to me about press conferences, 30 minutes maybe after they lost the Super Bowl, they're like, hey, come up here. Come up here. Come here. Get up on this podium or sit in this seat in front of all these cameras and reporters and tell them how you're feeling at the moment. Tell them what's up.
How you doing, guys? I don't know. You know, I think everyone's still a little numb and angry and just kind of going through all the emotions. And
when I got more interested in, say, like baseball, for example, I would watch press conferences from, say, like Orioles players, which is a baseball team, and I don't remember any new information. Like, there would be no new information. It was like you either had to be like a super knowledgeable person about that specific team or like that specific sport to even like understand the type of questions they were asking, or you'd have to be like just not know anything. Like, it was weird because I was kind of in this in-between spot, and I was like, this is not connecting with me. Like, as a viewer, I'm like, you can tell that the players, a lot of them have been media trained, and it's giving media trained. But then I feel like it's all worth it when you get those motivational quotes that they use on those Hope Core TikToks.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports.
Probably the most controversial type of interview are locker room interviews, where the journalists and the reporters can literally go into the locker room while they're getting dressed, before or after a game. They're literally in the locker room. It's like men, women, like whoever, they're just running into that locker room. And this is where the players are at their most vulnerable, and they're like bearing it all in more ways than one. These interviews are intriguing in theory, but I really don't think they're necessary. I think they could have like a separate, maybe some teams do this, like I don't know much about this, but I think they could have like a separate locker room or like a little media area next to the locker room where like someone could walk in there and talk to him for a few minutes and then like go back in the locker room or something. They're literally in the locker room seconds after they lost the Super Bowl. They're trying to process what just happened in peace. Probably do a little cry, you know, it's okay. Get a shower. Like, they want a shower. They just want to like cry in the shower. Like, I know how that feels. And then 72 cameras come in and they're like, how does it feel? How does it feel? But I think my favorite out of the formal interviews are the out in the field. Like, out in the field where they're like run out onto the field, talk to them. They're interviewing them like by the dugout, like even when they have the headset on and they're talking to them from the booth and they're just in the dugout like talking. I love those.
How important is this series overall for North Carolina?
You know, it's huge. You want to start playing your best baseball towards the end of May.
You're getting them like right in the action of it.
A couple of years since then, as we have some visitors here.
Party came to me, so I need to get to it right now.
All right, let them get to the party here. Go. Okay, Mr. Pig is joining us.
When you're out of it, like when you're in the locker room or when you're in the press conference, there's like a level of separation from the game. It's like when you get home from work or something and you don't really want to talk about work, or, like you just want to relax. And they're usually the most lighthearted.
You're the most focused person I've ever seen.
Wow,
I don't know what's happened. I'm trying to multitask. Yeah, but I'm impressed. Congratulations on the win. Take that Thor's hammer, and you rocked it. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
But the how do you feel still just like still comes in. And what I love is that some of the players are not having it. They're not giving in to these types of questions.
You are the first person in NBA history to have a 30, 20, 10 NBA Finals game. What does that mean to you?
I mean, to be honest, not much.
I figured you were going to say that.
Don't be chasing waterfalls. Don't be chasing waterfalls.
Instead of the formality of normal interviews, when they're mic'd up, you get to see more of their personality and their like silly, goofy side. I think in the recent years, that's what people have wanted more of. They want relatability. And I think these mic'd up interviews, or just being mic'd up, shows that they have a personality and they're not just this untouchable superstar athlete. Even though they still are, but you see that they're human.
It's just crazy to me how much music I don't know out here. Like, I know I'm getting old. Like, I listen to all types of musics too.
I was like, when did this start? The first thing that kind of, I think, may have started this kind of genre were the bad lip reading videos. I think people started to think like, what are they actually saying? Like, it looks like they're saying that silly, goofy thing, but what are they actually saying? Sometimes they'll mic them up for practice or for games even. I've seen this mostly in football and baseball, but the ones that I find the most fascinating are the baseball mic'd ups. So usually with the mic'd ups, you can hear what they're saying, hence like, you can hear what, but it's not like an interview. But they've started in baseball doing some mic'd up interviews during the game, which is kind of wild, but it's so cool.
Fred, he don't really want to talk to me.
What?
He don't want to talk to me.
Hey man, I'm nervous. We're close to the action.
Randy Rosarena's up there.
I try and talk to Freddie, he just looks at me and goes, and that's it.
Oh, you're used to being lonely out in right field. So.
It's usually an outfielder, I think, because they're not like right in on the action. They're waiting for the ball to come out, like in case they need to catch it or something. They're not usually not going to interview like the pitcher while he's pitching, or like the catcher, or batting or anything like that, really, because that would be so distracting. Like, I would be so distracted. Like, my sensory overload would be like, I'm ripping this out of my ear.
Garrett, you know the guy at the plate here pretty well. He's having quite a year, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's good. Oh, you can hear me.
Ooh.
Oh, what's up, big fella? Good, let's go.
Hey, run, Jose.
But there is one exception at all-star games. If you didn't know, an all-star game is like, it's not a real game. Like, it doesn't count for your team. So they like get the best players from the leagues and they all play like this all-star game. They're a little more relaxed, like it's a little more like just, you know, fun thing. They decided to do a mic'd up interview with the catcher and the pitcher. So the pitcher and the catcher can hear each other, and then they can hear where they're interviewing them. So they're interviewing the pitcher and the catcher at the same time while they're playing, which is crazy. And I watched this and I was like, this is fascinating, because they're talking, you get to hear like how they communicate with each other.
Alec, how you doing?
I'm good. Here we go.
2-2.
What do we got? How hard am I throwing?
I think 94, 95.
There we go. Okay.
Things that they say to each other, because usually like, they're like covering their mouth, or they're like, because they don't want people to see. And so I'm like, are they giving away secrets? Like, are we giving too much here?
Talk to me.
Here away.
All right, get there. Nice, good push. Give me something. Give me something, man.
Everybody's ready for this right here. Waiting for the moment.
What do you got? 1-1.
Let's go slider.
Oh, yeah.
They had the batters like on the mic and everything, like, hello. Like, I'd be so distracted with someone being like, hey. But some of them, they don't even need a mic. Like, you can hear them anyway. Like, you know what they're thinking.
Right now, let's go.
I think like the super serious, intense players, I would love to see them on the mic, because you're usually seeing like, oh, silly, like goofy, like hey, tee. But I want to see someone that's like, I don't want to talk right now. Like, I want to see that. This isn't necessarily mic'd up, but I think the best like executed version of this was the show Quarterback. It's on Netflix. They mic'd them up for like the whole season. They like got access to their home, like to their family. Like it was a really cool like behind the scenes view of it. I think Peyton Manning was like one of the producers, and he was probably like, I know what the people want. Like, I know what the people want. My favorite episode was where you kind of get an insight into how they come up with their play names.
Brizzle F tight, F fly, pass 37 punch, waggle, help, baby dizzy, X fan on the turbo. On the turbo. Football, man.
The more I watched it, I was like, these players are so intelligent. And I found myself, after I watched it, like rooting for the quarterbacks that I watched on the show and like following them more closely.
Mike, right here, I'm on the mini mic. I got a question for you. The question is, how many pillows is the right amount of pillows for you to sleep with?
So for me, it's 1. But if you ask Aisha, it's 27.
27.
And of course, can't talk about anything, period, without talking about TikTok. Like, we have to talk about TikTok. Kesha's like, I want to talk about TikTok. You know, like, she wanted to talk about TikTok before anyone else. One of the upsides to TikTok is that it connects you to people that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise be connected to. One of those ways is with sports. So of course they throw up some of those mic'd up clips on there with the TikTok captions, and people love those. But the most prevalent TikTok sports videos, there's been an epidemic. I feel like that sounds negative. I wouldn't say it's negative, but the mini mic.
Has the best smile on the team? Me.
The mini microphones. Not just in the sports world, but in the interviewing journalism world, these little microphones have spread far and wide with no end in sight. But you know it is in sight, that mini mic. You see that little mini mic right here? Like, it's kind of funny though to see like the big buff, like athletes holding this little microphone. Like, they're probably like, what are we doing here? I think some of them hate it. I think some of them secretly hate it. These mini mic interviews, like, these are never serious. This is like a silly goose time. And it's always like silly questions like goat pizza topping. But I love it though. I think it really depends on the person, but I think some of them love it and play into it, but still some of them, I think they're like, we are here for this is serious, people. I'm not telling you what my superpower would be if I could have one. They're not real.
If you have any superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Flight. I want to fly.
A lot of them are like, when they're walking into practice, they have like the microphone set up and the phone set up like while they're walking in. Those are so awkward to me. Like, some of them are silly. Like, I like the people that play into it and like enjoy it, but then some of the players, like, it's so uncomfortable, it's so awkward. But some of the questions are giving like, go around the table and tell us one thing you're thankful for, and we're not skipping you. Like, that's what some of the questions give. Or like the first day of school when you have to stand up and give one fun fact about yourself.
I got Michael Harris II. He's a great teammate. He always pumps me up. He's a great Call of Duty player too. He always revives me, and he's 2 lockers down from me, and we have fun together and laugh together. He's got a great sense of humor, and also he dresses really well. I wish I had his style as well.
And probably my favorite are the podcasts that have come out from athletes. Mookie Betts has one. He's a baseball player and he talks to other baseball players. It's a different dynamic than a journalist asking them questions, because they both can relate to each other on such a niche level. But I would like for more of these to pop up. I really like them, but you have to have people who like have the personality for it and are at that like elite level, I guess. to make people interested. Probably the most popular one are the Kelsey brothers podcast, Travis and Jason Kelsey. And even people who don't like sports love this podcast.
Quiet asked if she could say hi.
What?
Come on.
Yes. Look at you. What's up, girly?
Even before the whole Taylor Swift thing, people fell in love with these two guys, like with their family, like just everything about them. Because I think you see a side to them that you don't see from a lot of football players. Like Jason's bringing up his like little kids up there, and you're seeing their family time. You're seeing Travis Kelsey as an uncle to these two little girls.
Ellie, hi.
Hi.
How you doing? You're smiling big. You're making my day.
All right, girly, you gonna go take a shower?
Yeah.
Nighty.
Like the dichotomy of it all, you know, like the dichotomy. I don't even know if that's... Unlike other celebrities, I think, a lot of athletes can walk out in public and not be recognized, even if they're superstar status in their sport. But there are some athletes that surpass that, and I think that's becoming more prevalent, like with social media and how you get to know them more. The Kelsey brothers, like Caitlin Clark, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, those people, like, well, you probably recognize them on the street. Even some of them, like, don't get recognized. Like, there was this video of Aaron Judge, and he, like, put on glasses, like Clark Kent or something. He was Clark Kenting it, and people, like, even huge Yankees fans were like, I don't know who this man is.
People say, no, I kind of look like him, but you know,
a little bit. I can see it.
You can see it? Freckles. He's on the cover of the next Sports Illustrated. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
I guess it really depends on like what you watch and like how much you get into sports, because there are so many players that I'm like, I would have no idea. I don't know who that man is. Like, I legitimately, you could put a bunch of athletes in front of me and I'd be like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. So you mostly have to like kind of have to seek it out a little bit more than like your typical like actor. Once I got more into the baseball world, there are these superstars that I'm like, I didn't know who this person was years ago. Like Shohei Ohtani. If you're a baseball fan, you probably know who Shohei Ohtani is. But I was talking to someone the other day and I like mentioned his name. I was like, did you see that picture of Ed Sheeran and Shohei Ohtani? And she was like, who's Shohei Ohtani? Who is that? But with all these new ways of getting to know them and follow them, I think it's bringing more people to watch sports that wouldn't have otherwise, because it's giving you someone to root for and it's personalizing it, and it's not just a bunch of people running around on the screen that you have no idea who they are with no connection to them. It made it 4D, if you will. Like, look at this picture of Shohei Ohtani and Ed Sheeran. Doesn't this make you want to see what this man does on the baseball field? My world was rocked. Aaron Judge on Paw Patrol. Two different worlds collide.
Yankees baseball star Aaron Judge.
Count me in.
So they're bringing him over. They know what the kiddos want. They want that Aaron Judge cameo. And to close this out, I just need to show you this clip of this girl seeing Aaron Judge, because I feel her on a deep level and I love her.
You're out of here. You're out of here. That's it. That's it.
How can you throw me out of here? Aaron Judge?